I'm Stuart Schwab, and I'm the Alan R. Tessler Dean of Cornell Law School. We have a very exciting building project. It's in 3 phases. Phase 1 is currently underway, and those walking by on College Avenue sort of see the great big hole. And it's designed to give 3 new underground classrooms, a breakout area, a new main entrance to the law school. In phase 2 will be to renovate Myron Taylor Hall itself, the library stacks, the locker rooms, some other underused areas. And phase 3 will be to renovate the student dormitory, Hughes Hall, and convert the rest of it into offices. For students here at the law school, it's been relatively quiet. We actually started in early summer and told them classes start August 22nd, so get your noisy work done before that. We have had to close, of course, the sidewalk on the west side of College Avenue, so any folks walking from College Town up to the university, whether they're going to the law school or just by the law school, certainly are aware of that. Of course, no one's thrilled with noise and dust now, but they are thrilled with the plans we have and excited to be in the new classrooms, which we hope to teach out of starting spring semester 2014.
Good evening. Here with me tonight is Professor Kevin Claremont, law school professor and chair of the building committee. He's going to speak to us about the law school construction that's currently causing a lot of buzz amongst students. So, Professor, why do you think this is such an important renovation that we do on the law school?
The surprising thing is there's nothing optional about this. This really is necessary for the law school. And some numbers I saw today drive this home, that the law school was built in 1932. There were 157 students and 14 faculty. And today, there are 700 law students and over 100 faculty, full-time and part-time faculty. In addition, the administration has grown tremendously, and academic programs, things like the Cornell Death Penalty Project, didn't exist. We need the space. We need classrooms and we need offices. We have really no choice.
So what exactly are they going to be cutting things down from the pre-existing areas and converting them into new modern spaces, or are we adding new areas?
Well, both, but largely building within the existing footprint. Okay. There is going to be an addition of classroom space underground. That's what you see in the construction currently, and that'll be covered, and the law school will look just like it did before. That's phase 1. Phase 2 will be repurposing Myron Taylor Hall. And interesting thing about Myron Taylor Hall is that what holds the building up are the stacks of the library. It's built around the library, and the stacks are load-bearing. That makes renovation very difficult, and what they're going to do, what the architects call it, is melon balling. They're going to come in from the roof and melon ball down, clear out the old building. And then phase 3 is renovating and repurposing the Hughes Hall dormitory. So not an extension of the footprint, but a substantial increase in the number of offices. So phase 1 will really produce new classrooms as well as a new entry to the building. Phase 2 will be this repurposing of Myron Taylor Hall, many more classrooms, much more student space, and then phase 3 would be the offices. So phase 1 and 2 are really student directed, and phase 3 will be one that we try to get some offices for administrators and faculty.
And I think all of this begs probably 2 questions. First of all, what is the timeline going to look like on this expansion, given how much construction is being done? And second of all, is this causing a lot of disruption amongst either the professors like yourself or the students who are experiencing their time in the law school?
Well, the timeline, we hope to be teaching in the new classrooms, the new underground classrooms, in January of 2014. And at that time, phase 2 is supposed to start. And then when phase 2 is finished, phase 3. Now, the reason for spreading it out into phases is to limit the disruption. So your second question, as far as the disruption goes, I think, well, I was going to say that it's worse for students because students are transitory, and so this is their period.
There's a lot of roadblock, and
this
it's
is
not
the period
too aesthetically pleasing outside.
No, it's not. But It's also disruptive for the faculty. I mean, there's no avoiding it. We tried to control the disruption. The disruption is much less than we expected.
Okay.
We did the noisy stuff in the summer. Now, you can really be unaware of the fact that there's all this excavation going on outside and soon to be construction. Phase 2 will be disruptive. I mean, when you melon ball down the heart of your building, that is going to be disruptive. And we kind of dread that. Phase 3 is off to the side, so that won't be too bad.
Right.
So this is a long-term disruption, and that's going to affect students.
Luckily, the school's easing us into it. As you said, it started off pretty mild.
Well, the aesthetics will be improved once phase
exactly.
1 is over and they re-establish the lawn and everything. I mean, the lawn will look just the way it did before, and the retaining wall just the way it did before.
Right.
So from the street, the law school will be as beautiful as it ever was.
Okay.
Underground, and even the aesthetic improvement will be the courtyard will be much more integrated into the life of the law school, and the new classrooms will be very modern. It'll be a modern, but it won't affect the the exterior, which is collegiate college.
All right.
And that'll be preserved.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your information about this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it turns out to look like.
It'll be worth it.
Good. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What do you think about the lack of visible political enthusiasm on Cornell's campus during this election season?
Previous presidential elections, there has been a good deal of excitement. I'm just surprised by it. Can't quite understand how this, why this group of students seems at least to be less interested. It may well be that they're privately very involved. I don't know, but the public theatrical aspect of political activism seems totally absent from campus.
Hello, Cornell University. I'm Dan-Young Kim here for the SunCenter, and I'm with Alex Bruce, the Vice President of Cornell College Republicans, and Dalton Vieira from the Cornell Democrats. So my first question for you two is, do you think that people are less interested in the presidential election nowadays?
I think the presidential election for 2012 is less exciting than 2008. I think it's because there was a certain freshness to Senator Obama at the time, that now he's President Obama 4 years later, that same perception is still not there. By comparison, I don't think Mitt Romney has the same kind of perception that John McCain had in 2008.
I would generally agree with that. I would cite that in 2008, I think a lot of young voters were excited about Obama, about the chance to get a young person in and really change the way how things were done. And in the past 4 years, we've seen a spike in filibusters and really just not the change that we expected. Not that we necessarily blamed him for that, but I think that we've kind of lost the enthusiasm that we had 4 years ago.
Do you think that there's one single factor that will swing the election either way? Whether it's the economy, as many people would say, whether it will come down to the states, the electoral college?
I think there's some really interesting components to it, because I think it's going to be young voter turnout, which was definitely something huge for President Obama last election cycle. I think a secondary effect will be how the voter registrations have gone, where you had record numbers in 2008 and 2012 that enthusiasm was not there, as well as the new voter registration laws. I know I'm from Pennsylvania, and so now the rules have changed where certain people that used to vote for a number of years without voter IDs don't have it anymore. So you don't have a state license, you can't vote. So that's going to leave a number of people out of the election, Republicans and Democrats included. But I think you're going to see that could change the dynamic for a state that maybe a lean Democrat or a lean Republican may be coming into play. And I think finally you're going to probably see that there's a number of people that will just feel disenfranchised to vote just because they're not interested in either President Obama or Mitt Romney. So that will be probably the number, I'd say 4 reasons why you might see some switches and some changes in this election.
As far as single issue voters, if there's one single issue that's going to sway things, I think you find most of them are actually not on the table right now. things like marijuana legalization, for example, are not really in play for a lot of young voters, at least. You're still going to generally have, I think, the pro-life, pro-choice people who vote hardline, but really it's very multiplicative, and you generally see a pretty big difference between the two platforms that are being put forth, and they're different in a lot of ways. So to say that there's a single issue right now, I don't think so.
So would you say, as a category, just cultural issues you think is the most important out of all the different types of issues? Like marijuana, abortion, those are all cultural issues that divide among the parties?
Well, those are the issues that people are most confident about, where they stand. Not everybody is generally an economist, but and I think that they'll stay so, and that will reflect in the general strength of the opinions that they have. And when it comes to economics, people really aren't so sure. You're having a lot of claims on both sides that people really don't know what to make of them. People generally will care about the economic outcomes, but really I don't think that the level of information is there for them to have an opinion that they have strongly and that they were willing to make or break a vote for.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you're going to see that the economy is probably still the #1 issue for most people that are going to vote. Especially, it impacts people that are older. So I mean, while it's very important to younger voters, I think you're going to see more cultural issues may be affecting, as you said, the younger crowd as opposed to the older crowd. But I think you're going to see too, there's going to be people that will vote against Obama and for Romney for that purpose, because I think that people view the economy as being a direct outcome of Obama's administrative choices over the last 4 years, where that's something that is something for Obama to lose and Mitt Romney to gain.
Well, those were excellent answers, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. That wraps up our interview.